How do humans learn? Sorry?
Listening. By experience.
Correct.
Observing.
Yeah, by observing and by experience. How do machines learn?
By human.
Programming.
Yeah.
Who will program? Humans. So, good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and fellow members. Today, my topic is machine learning. As an example, I am taking Toastmaster Naufal. He likes songs. Toastmaster Naufal likes songs which are very fast and which has high intensity, like a soaring sound. So, we are analyzing some songs which are liked by Toastmaster Naufal and we are marking it in a graph. So, some songs, one song is here and one song is this. So, these are different songs. So, now we understood that Toastmaster Naufal likes songs which are fast and soaring. So, we have marked it in the graph and he dislikes songs which are relaxed and slow. So, we are taking one song as an example, so which is fast, and another song, this is song A. So, from song A we can identify that, from the markings we can identify that he likes song A, which is very fast and slow. Now we are taking an example of song B. Song B is somewhere in between like and dislike. It is coming in between. So, how do we identify whether he likes this song or not? This is one method which we use to identify whether he likes this song. We are drawing a circle by G as center. Now we can easily identify that more points are coming under the like area. So we conclude that this song B, Naufal also likes song B. This is a small example. Humans can easily identify this example by this example. But suppose there is a lot of data. One or two songs we can easily identify. Suppose there is a lot of data. So what we will do? In this case, we use machine learning. Machine learning is a process by which we train machines to learn by analyzing a lot of data. It is a new technology which is almost come together with artificial intelligence. Many of us have heard about artificial intelligence. And machine learning is the science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. Normally, how a computer program works, we are writing a code. According to the code, the computer program will work. But in machine learning, we are making them work without being explicitly coded for that particular purpose. The name machine learning was coined in 1959 by Arthur Samuel. Even though it was a old technology, it was used earlier, but the technology is new because a lot of developments are happening now. It is so pervasive today that we are almost all of us are using it without knowing that we are using it. These are some of the definitions of machine learning. It is a field of study that gives the ability to the computer for self-learn without being explicitly programmed. Another definition is, it is an idea to learn from examples and experience without being explicitly programmed. Instead of writing code, we give them data and we analyze the data and generates the computer analyzes the data and generates an algorithm which is a step-by-step method by which they do the task. Now there is some difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a science of mimicking human activities, like we are making robots So they are doing tasks which are done by humans. This is called artificial intelligence. But machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence by which we are training them to do how the artificial intelligence. Now, there are different types of machine learning. First is supervised. In supervised machine learning, it is like task-driven method. That we are giving some labeled data. We are predefined data is given to the computer, and a predefined output also is generated. So according to this data and output, they generate algorithms. Now there is unsupervised data. Unsupervised data, it is to identify, to analyze a lot of data and generate some output which is called clusters. I will explain all this in the coming slides. And the third one is reinforcement. Reinforcement is by learning from mistakes. So first is supervised learning. Supervised learning, we are giving some data. For example, in this image you can see we are giving an input image to the computer. It is the first one is the image of dog, and then we are saying that this is the image of a dog. Then second one is cat. Third one is another dog. So we are feeding a lot of data according to the data, and we are also telling the computer that this is so and so object. Now we feed a lot of data, then we will give some test. We will give an image, then the computer has to reply what it is. According to the reply, we will approve it or not. Then again there is a feedback process by which it can re-analyze the data and give a different output. For example, this is another example of supervised learning. We are giving some coins to our friend. There are three types of coins. One is rupee, one is euro, and the third one is dirhams. Each coin has a property that is called weight. According to the weight of the coin, we can analyze. We are telling the computer what is the coin. So if we feed a 3 grams coin to the computer, it will say that it is a 1 rupee coin. This is called supervised learning. In unsupervised learning, I am taking the example of a cricket match. We are giving the names of the players and along with the scores and the number of wickets they have taken. So in this one, the computer analyzes each data and they have provided an output which is called cluster. In this cluster, they have given so player has taken so much runs and so players have taken so much wickets. So from this, we will identify that the player who has taken more runs, they are in the group of batsmen. Here, in the input, we are not giving that, we are not specifying that this is a batsman or a bowler, but the computer and generates this output, and then we will say the computer this is batsman. So batsman. So they will in the next time when we are giving a data, they will identify this as a batsman or bowler. Now these are the different applications of machine learning: healthcare, sentiment analysis, fraud detection, and e-commerce. This is a use case which is used by Uber. They are using differential pricing in real time because this is according to the demand and the number of cars available and different other factors. They are generating different tariff rates dynamically. That is one example of machine learning usage. And there are some examples of machine learning: face detection, email filtering, medical diagnosis, weather prediction. These are all different examples by which we have trained the computers to give a report based on previous data which is already analyzed. This is a new technology called machine learning, and this is we are using it a lot in the modern times. Even we are not knowing it, but we are using it a lot. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Next speech is by Mr. Naufal. Before he comes onto the dais, I would request his evaluator, Ramraj, who is again experienced Toastmaster, to explain his objectives for the speech. I request Ramraj to come on the dais, please.
Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters, once again good evening.
Good evening.
The purpose of the speech of this project is the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or first speech. The speech title is Mysteries or History. And I request Toastmaster Naufal to come forward and give his speech. Let us welcome Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Before the speech, the admired person in my life, it is of course it's my parents. With a note. 15 years back, in an Indian village, the darkness of midnight, a gang of the friends was being come after the second show movie to their homes. The route was not enough street light instead of the moonlight, and gradually, one by one, reached to their homes, and there is a one person is left, and his home was far away from the road, approximately 700 to 800 meters, and the road, especially the road, was filled by shrubby and largest and tallest trees. However, he entered the route and he started to hear about the different types of screaming and noises, and the darkness was increased his anxiety, and suddenly he could see in the moonlight and a movement of an objective which is lifting and lowering, and he shocked and stood up. Good evening, TME of the day, fellow members and guests. A warm good evening to you.
Good evening.
Do you like to hear about the stories of the thrilling or the movies, thrilling movies or detective types of the stories?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Most of our invested that. Especially when we were in our childhood, we have heard many types of the stories, which is non-fictional and fictional. And our childhood, in a sense, was trusted all these stories. And at the present, when we grew up, we realized that there was a few mistakes, or there is some, we cannot able to realize that one. That means we cannot able to believe that all that was in the fact. Even our childhood, in a sense, it's not ready to break that believing system, which was the existence. And what we are doing, we are transferring to other generation as well. And this process is rounding among us. In the world, very many types of the mysteries are there. Most of them are the famous. Let me share you 2-3 incidents about that. Have you heard about the Tasm Hub, which is located in the New Mexico? There is a certain sound often, and it can be, we can imagine to that sound of a diesel engine, and this sound can be heard by the naked ear only, and there is no any electrical device or electronic device, it will not pick up. But still, nobody has no idea about that, how the sound is being created. And the next,
That all we know about that one, the Great Bermuda Triangle. What is happening? Vanishing. What is vanishing? Centuries histories are there. Ships, flight, everything is vanishing there. But what finally there is a one solution. They are giving that the reason is the formation of the gas bubbles, collision of the gas bubbles, but still not is declared. That is the reason. However, that is still running. And let me share you one more thing. There is one sport in the world. Its name is Killer Curve. Have you heard about that Killer Curve? It's actually one highway, and there is one road, and bending is that road. There is, whenever the people are passing to there, they are getting accident. After that accident, either they are died or they are physically challenged. And the people are narrated a story behind of these incidents. They are saying, when we are here about that, maybe we will get a laugh. They are saying, years ago, one lady had died by her lover or someone, and she reformed as a ghost, and she's playing this part. Similarly, many stories are happening around the world. If I ask you, maybe you will give the thousands of stories similar. However, why we people are believing all these things without any type of evidence or any proof? Because our human is emotionally we are blackmailed. Our brain, when the emotion is getting, we are falling to that emotion. And the anti-social people, everywhere is there, the group of the anti-social people, they are utilizing maximum this chance to spread the negative message to the public. And the public, they are deliberately to addict to believe all these things, and who does not have the preventing capacity, the people are going to become the next victim of these type of accidents or a story like these type of activities. And let me tell you another story which would not be happened because of the person who has absorbed the maximum courage. The person who was going to his home, when he was going to his home, when he saw the image, he just take the maximum energy, power, and he collected some weapons like a stone and a stick. He just moved to near the tree where he saw the image, and he just go and look at the image. Actually, he started to smile. It was a cow from the paddy field. The cow came to near the tree, and the cow is scratching his head on the tree. When he was in that side, he looked at that one. In between the tree, he was seeing only the image, the lifting and lowering. If he had not come there and he could have gone to his home, there is another mysterious story will be born out here. Thank you very much.
That's wonderful, Lawful. Yeah, eye-opening speech. See, such kind of diversified speeches of different genres we had in this session. Really great. I would request Toastmaster Venkatesh to give diverse report, please, for all the three speeches.
Once again, the initiative. Toastmaster Puran Roy for 21 minutes.
21 minutes.
Toastmaster Shahnaz for 9 minutes 40 seconds. Toastmaster Naufal to exactly 7 minutes.
7 minutes. So,
Puran Roy, 2 of them are qualified. Toastmaster Puran Roy qualified, Naufal qualified.
okay, so voting chips are distributed. Voting chips. So, and Naufal got qualified in the speeches. Anyhow, advanced speeches will not eligible for voting. It will be considered specially. And Naufal, of course, is the only speaker. Can be voted. Yeah. But these chits are for evaluators and probably special assignments. I would request evaluators to come up on the stage and give their valuable evaluation to all the speakers. First, I would request Toastmaster Rajesh Palikari to give his evaluation on Puran Rai's speech. Yeah. Please, who you want?
Yeah, for evaluator, it's 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, I will show green light, 2.5 minutes yellow light, and 3 minutes will be red light and yellow.
Thanks.
Toastmaster of the evening and fellow members. Once again, good evening. Toastmaster Puran, I like him because in every speech he brings some his own experience and his own stories. Always all the audience like to listen self-experience and self-stories. And in this 20 minutes he has given so many self-experience and stories which all the audience were engrossed. But the speech was a motivational speech. He started with the speech, what is the benefit of being flexible in different adverse situations. So he wanted to grab the attention. They started with the tap, which I also get confused to twist it to get the right temperature. So then he said how we have to be flexible for an adverse situation and what is the benefit in this. And finally he took us with the long stories and then he told think positive. And wanted to motivate us to think positive, isn't it? Not to be flexible. Then I got a bit confused whether you have to be motivating us or being flexible or being positive. Anyway, I will take it as a think positive because I do want to get fun. So I will say so let us say the motivation was think positive. How many of you got motivated by that? Think positive or being flexible. How many got motivated being flexible? So how many are both motivated by both? So in my opinion, when you give the motivational speech, you should give take away this. Finally, you should call for action. At the end of since you are a senior Toastmaster, I can tell that. At the end of the speech, you should call for action. What your action you will take to get this done. So the audience who was getting motivated, they should know what action they have to take and what is the incentive they are getting by that. So that part it was a bit weak in your speech. Otherwise, as a speaker, you are excellent. So all other technical parts of this Toastmaster speech you have covered. The only thing I can say, when you are giving the motivational speech, be little more aggressive and call for action by the audience. When they are going out of that, whatever what you want to narrate or what you want to tell them, they should implement. So you should ensure that whatever the thing you want to tell them, they are going to implement it. Otherwise, the motivational speech becomes a normal speech. So hopefully you have a better motivational speech in the next project. And here, as I said, I got a bit confused whether motivation is for the think positive or being flexible. So we should be firm in one decision.
Now I would request Toastmaster John Thomas to evaluate Toastmaster Sharma's speech. I welcome him onto the dais.
Toastmaster of the evening, fellow members, Toastmaster Shanavas in particular, warm good evening once again.
Good evening.
Toastmaster Shanavas was supposed to deliver us a well-researched speech as the purpose of the speech statement said, and he has succeeded in delivering a well-researched speech. and he has picked up a very apt current topic, machine learning. And I personally enjoyed the speech. Let me start with the positives. He has done real research in that topic and he has delivered it well. He opened the speech with a question, which is a positive thing because the question will grab the attention of the audience. His comfort level was really good. Overall, it was a good speech. Now, how many of you are with an IT background? Can you please raise your hand? Good. I think 20% of the audience is with an IT background. When I am with an IT background, but when I think from that 80%'s perspective, I don't think you have picked up the right topic. Even though you have picked up the right topic, I don't think you have delivered it in a manner which people can easily understand. Some point of time I was feeling that I was sitting in MIT or IIT and hearing a lecture of a well-known professor of artificial intelligence. That should not be the way you deliver a speech, especially for a general audience. You should make it very simple so that people, because audience interest is one factor, one parameter which you need to give importance. So always you think from an audience side, it's not your expertise which matters. What audience can understand and take away is what matters more. So in that way, even though I personally like the subject, but I don't think you have delivered it in the way that you should be presenting a research topic in a Toastmaster audience. Because it was too complicated and even for me, I know a bit about artificial intelligence and machine learning and all those things, but still for me, I found it difficult to follow the whole sequence. So even though you have met all the objectives, next time read it a bit more carefully and more than you think about the audience. All the best for your future projects.
Thank you so much for your evaluation. Now I would request Toastmaster, Senior Toastmaster Ramraj to evaluate Naufel's speech.
Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, once again, good evening.
Good evening.
In reference to this project's number 2 in the pathways, Toastmaster Naufal has given a very good speech. As far as the topic is concerned, it's totally different topics. We don't come across such topics like mysteries of history. This is the title which is given by Toastmaster Naufal. He had got the first qualities of his first speech, the positive points. He had a very good voice. Even without any speaker, without any mic, he was able to deliver his speech. That's a very good positive point about your speech. Second point about your listening is you have given various examples. When I say this, in my childhood also I used to read a lot of stories. Like this was a story, like I remember one story about the Dracula. Have you read these Dracula stories? That those days were very place reading stories like Dracula and all. But one thing what I normally used to do is I should turn the complete light in the room and I used to read it. Because that when you read the story, you cannot sleep properly. Always you have that story which comes in your mind and repeating. So this is also one of the stories like mysteries of history. You have done a very good topic. You have taken a good topic and delivered in a nice manner. Every speech has got some positive points for improvements, his space for improvements. One thing which I observe is clasping your hands while giving the speech. Maybe you can try practice without clasping your hands for the next future speeches. At a moment in the stage, you need to restrict your movements by telling one particular topic. Like you have given examples like Bermuda Triangle, Killer Cow. For each example, you can still move your position from one place to other place. That will give a good speech, like your movements in the speech, and that also give a good positive points of the speech. And conclusion of your speech. That's the last one which I want to say. It's not appropriate. What do you wanted the audience to take away from your speech? You wanted to keep away from all these mysteries of histories. So there has to be some conclusion, but of course you can make it next year, next project speech. You can take it that point. What kind of conclusion you can give at the end of the speech? Okay. Otherwise, it was a very well delivered speech. Over to you.
That's wonderful evaluations by senior most Toastmasters of Africa. I hope all the speakers will be taking all the suggestions, the positives and negatives in the right sense, and will be applying those things in the next speeches. Are you all excited, ebullient to face first ever debate of us club?
Yes.
Shall we start that? Now I would hand over the podium to Toastmaster Arun Balakrishnan to conduct the debate.
So what is the? I will just go.
Yeah, you have this.
Okay. A little girl used to go to a temple. It's very nearby to her house. So initial days, when you go to the temple, when she prayed, she used to tell, Mama ko sitiro, Papa ko sitiro, Guru ko sitiro. Can you understand what it is? Give correct or prayer to my father, my mother, my Guru, my teacher. After some days, Mama, Papa and Guru changed to, she consolidated to Baba Kachutiro. Then the priest sitting standing just nearby in the temple, after hearing this for some days, he asked, why did you change this Mama, Papa and Guru to Baba? She said, on the way, I need to climb some steps. So there is a monk sitting in between, and by finding my difficulty, he used to pick me up and keep at in the top. So he need to get enough strength, otherwise he cannot pick me up in the coming days. Days passed. After a few days, she again changed. She started chanting, Tara ka sakti do, Tara ko sakti do, Tara ko sakti do. Mama, Papa, Guru, Baba, all changed to Tara. Who is Tara? Tara is the lady, that girl. Again, the priest asked, no, why did you change this to Tara? She said, Tara is me. Now, I started climbing up myself. Instead of the monk letting me to go up, Ultimately, that's what I want to tell you about today's thing. When you say price, wherever you find value, definitely you will be pricing for that. Ultimately, it will reach to yourself. That doesn't mean that you should not price others. You should start pricing from Almighty, and wherever you find value, ultimately it will reach to you. The brilliant Toastmaster of the evening, brilliant team members, and all the brilliant leaders sitting in front of me. Just it's a trial and try, just to familiarize ourselves how to conduct a debate. As you all know, the motion of I had given some idea of the debate session. So for today's debate, the motion or the subject is this house will ban the promotional bias. Anyone has a doubt on the house? See, as I told you earlier, house is a parliamentary word which is related to parliament. When we talk about parliament, that is related to the country. We can virtually say the proposition team is trying to establish that the country, the house, entire Indian country will ban the promotional tax. Any kind of. We have two teams already decided. Team 1, the proposition team Shiva, Ashok TP, Perendrai. Can they come up stage with their chairs? Please.
It's
not bad. Maybe.
That is one of the challenges.
That's one of the challenges.
Logistic help.
No, facing weak.
Okay, we're facing. We'll look at it like that. Second one.
Because you are facing the opposition.
One more. Let's have a round of applause for the proposal team. Team is led by Toastmaster Shiva, supported by Toastmaster Ashok TP and Virendra. And what is their team name? Challenges. They are going to challenge the status quo. That's why they are the challenges. And the opposition is warriors. Let's invite Toastmaster Muhammad Arif and his group John Thomas and Shiraz Advani. It's chair. Yeah, please.
That is the challenge.
Come to the chair. We can put the seat here.
Physical assault is not allowed.
That's
Only
That's why he will be standing in between us.
Only verbal assault.
There is no physical. Yeah. So we have the teams here. Let's have another round of applause for the teams, the warriors and candidates. Let's. So the debate will be conducting in a sequence. Meaning, I need the help of timer also. You need to keep it in this chair. Okay. Now, whatever other than the 6 who are sitting in front, that's the audience, right? Audience are also a part of this debate, right? Now, out of the audience, we need 3 volunteers as the judges. Who can be the judges? Can? Right. How about you? Okay.
Can you come forward, please? Tanner, you are ready, right? Okay, I will tell you what to do. Okay, the judges, please. All right. So the remaining, we have 3 judges, and all of the audience. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What you need to do? Remember, in the last meeting, I already separated the team for proposition and opposition. You remember with whom you were? Okay. Do one thing. Just count 1. Yourself. Yes. Step 1. 2. You need to remember the number 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. So only once you move here, only those you move here. So you have to. If you don't make any problem, it's okay. Now, you understand why did I differentiate, separated the audience? Virtually, who are sitting in the right side is a part of this team, that is the challengers. Okay? So, you need to think in favor of the motion, and who are sitting in this side from the audience, other than the judges, you are a part of this team, warriors. Okay? You are going to challenge the motion, right? Okay, now why that is required? There is in between, you will be getting an opportunity to ask questions, point of information, afterwards they finish. So at that time you can come up with your own questions. You have to be prepared for that. Now,
So, second.
yeah.
Can we ask him to this team or this team?
You can see you are virtually a part of their team, right? So your major questions can be to them. So this side questions can be to that side, right? So the debate will be starting like this. The challenger or proposition team, the team who propose, the first person, you are going to do the first speech, right? He will be getting 2.5, that means 2 minutes and 30 seconds to come forward and speak about the motion. Okay? He has already prepared a speech. He will be coming up and he will to tell why he is coming up with such a motion. Right? You know the motion. This house will ban the promotion of diets. Now, it will be exactly 2 minutes 30 seconds. That's your purpose. You need to start as soon as he starts. Okay, so you can come forward here and start your speech. I told you, or stand up there and do. That's fine. That's fine. Now, what we need to do when he is crossing 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you need to note it down and you need to start clapping. Okay? When you start clapping, other audience also will start clapping. That is an indication for the speaker to finish. Okay? When he continues speaking, we will be facing our clapping. So he will be naturally. Just you just clap with that. So we will make him to sit. That's it. Right. Then there is. But while he delivers his speech, what you need to do? One person from here, you need to prepare for point of information. Whatever points you can raise against his speech, right? That you will be getting up to 2 minutes to question him, right? It is not mandatory. If you are getting any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we will proceed to the next session. Okay. So here, Shiva, you are ready for this, right? Shiva will be coming and he will be delivering first 2 minutes 30 seconds speech. You can identify not only yourself, all the three together, write down all the points to challenge him, okay, against his speech. So let's say you have identified 3 or 4 point of information to ask. Okay, you want some clarification. You feel like, okay, whatever he said is not correct. So that is you can note down, and once he finishes his speech, you will be getting maximum 2 minutes. Okay, to ask that questions. He need to stand up there and answer your questions also. So this is for the judges. You need to wait all this. His speech, their questions. If your question he is not able to answer, definitely you are going to get less weightage in the marks. Okay, that's the way it goes.
Will we get some time to put our heads together, or it's immediately after?
It should be immediate. We won't be getting in the actual scenario also much time.
It's immediately after.
Yeah.
it stops.
Maybe few seconds we can do. Right, let us start. Ready? Okay. So timer, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, see, let's say I can just before starting. So first Shiva will be doing first speech. Then meantime, this team will be analyzing about the questions. Then after a few minutes or few seconds, Mr. Arshaf will be coming up and asking the questions if he has anything. Otherwise, we will pass on. Then Mr. Arshaf will be asked to come up with his speech. That will be for 2 minutes 30 seconds. While he delivers his speech, it's their responsibility. You need to identify the same thing, same questions to argue against him, and you will be getting maximum 2 minutes to question him. Alright? So, see, that will continue like this. Ashraf TP need to come up and ask questions. Then you need to come up and tell about the motion, right? Why you are favoring. So that will continue till the last. Right? So let's mock it. Let's see how it is. Shiva, are you ready?
Yes.
Right. Please.
Good evening, all the Toastmasters, friends, my colleagues, members of the house. Yesterday I was talking to my colleague in office, Fakuldi. I just mentioned about various types of diets. Brother, actually I found these types of diets talking around even in my colleagues also. You know anything about this? He immediately jumped and said, hey Shiva, you know, my friend, my roommate followed one diet for 3 months wherein he just ate vegetables, and he lost 20 kgs of weight. And you know what happened? He lost all his hair. He became like this. So then I have taken aback. So then I immediately asked, did he lost only hair or something else also? Unfortunately, neither my friend nor his friend knows the exact answer for this. So these are the side effects of diets, various types of diets. These are actually literally many side effects it is producing, and people are unknown about that. Even they are not listening, they are not heeding the advices of well-known doctors, and this is actually affecting whole human health, I can say. I was actually, when I went on vacation to India before 3 months, during August actually I was there, and I actually checked my blood pressure, all the lipid profile test and all I did. And surprisingly, I got huge levels of triglycerides, and HDL was very low, LDL was too high. I actually got shocked with all the results when I saw my report. And I went to doctor and I asked, what does these mean? He said, you have a lot of cholesterol and you have to reduce a lot, and you have to change your diet plans. You should exercise a lot. Doctor, please don't tell me all, and you have to take a lot of medicine for cholesterol, all these things. I said, doctor, please don't tell me all these things. Please tell some natural ways of reducing my cholesterol. Then he said, if you want to go for natural ways, only way is to exercise. Only way is to exercise. You exercise and see the result. With the exercise, I actually contribute. I'm the live example of this thing, and these are my reports.
are the reports. Yesterday I took in Bustan, and these are the reports which are 3 months back which we got, and there is a huge difference. How I got this? How I achieved this difference? Only because of exercise. I ran for almost 5 kilometers every day. Sometimes I did 10K, and this was the result. And as a live example, and hereby I declare in this house there are no more promotions of that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shiva.
Five.
Okay, so that is the effect of clapping. So you need to, whoever comes and present, you need to understand. You need to whatever we present once the clap start, that is not considered during the evaluation, right? Yeah, that's the point. Whatever he said, once we started clapping, that will not be considered as valid points for the evaluation.
No, this was not told earlier.
That's what you verify.
No, this was absolutely not told earlier.
Clapping that means.
No, he thought clapping.
Yes, this is our practice. This is what.
But this particular rule was not told. So please exempt this from this speech.
That can be accepted. No, next time.
Anyhow, I made my point.
Yes. Opposition. You have some points.
Yeah, I have a question to Toastmaster.
Yes. You are going to start, right?
Yes.
Everything is ready. This is the way you need to come forward. Okay. Yeah. Questions.
I have a question.
Wait. Come here. Okay. Shiva, you can stand up there. Yeah.
I have a question to Toastmaster Puran. Are you following any diet plan? No. How did you lose your hair? Is there any? Shiva, can you just explain why?
I'll answer is hereditary.
So, whatever he has explained could be a hereditary thing. You cannot just attribute it to something which has happened parallelly.
In 2 months time, a person like you having hair cannot turn into this. So this was my friend's experience, and that is what I told.
I'm asking from where?
Okay,
You can ask using that.
Yeah, my question is for Toastmaster Shivakumar. If exercising was such a great panacea of all weight problems in the world, why do you think we still have gyms and people, with these long-term memberships who don't seem to receive any
Lethargy. Answer is in your question.
and these
Lethargy, laziness,
and
no
these are the people
motivation.
and these are the people who have been members
Especially
of
in
gyms
Strava.
for years and years and who are not receiving any benefits. They are doing the workouts.
No.
So you think it has nothing to play with your body
No.
type, genetics, your metabolism. It's all in exercise.
Yes.
And you've solved the world's problems just by one solution, which is exercising.
Yes.
I think it's a
Yes,
very
exercise can solve a lot of problems. If not 100%, 99.9% of problems can be solved through exercise.
I
And-
yes.
Yes, yoga, of course.
That's it? Alright. Okay. See, the format what I saw earlier is in the Toastmaster competition itself. This part, the 2 minutes questions, see, listen, this team, the question should be asked by one person because all the 3 of you will be getting separate chances to ask the questions. So that is to measure the caliber of that particular person himself. So what you could have done, club together, work together, keep in a paper, you have to come and ask both the questions. And you are supposed to answer. But in your question, you can address him. See, look at Puran. How do you can that way also? Then you can indirectly ask him how he is maintaining his health. So he need to answer because his potential they need to analyze. Okay. So let's try that way in the several ways. Right.
Next question. Body shape.
Question at the end. Audience question at the end. You just prepare your questions. Right. Yeah. Whatever they didn't ask so far, you can ask later. Okay. Right. Okay. So first thing is over. Now the second, the warrior, opposition team, the leader is coming and putting his points for 2 minutes 30 seconds. You have to start the timing same way.
Right? Make sure your points are there within this time frame, otherwise it will not be considered.
Honorable judges, what I felt of passes and games. A warm pudding into one and all. A special pudding into my worthy opponents.
Very good.
Our topic is not about diet. It is not about whether diet is needed or not. Whatever topic is, this house will ban the promotion of diets. Please note the point. The promotion of diet to be banned or not. That is the point. Diet. When we talk about diet, there are two means. One, the kind of food that a person, animal or community habitually eats. Example is vegetarian diet. Second one is a special course of food to which a person restricts themselves, either to lose weight or for medical reasons. For medical reasons. That is the point. Let us talk about, there I am going to talk about obesity and overweight. That is the whole idea behind this diet talks. What is overweight? You all know about BMI, body mass index. Your height and weight has to be proportional. Okay. When we talk about, as per the World Health Organization statistics, World Health Organization statistics, overweight of in 2016 more than 1.9 billion. 1.9 billion adults aged 18 years old are overweight. Of these, over 650 million adults were obese. Almost 650 million adults were obese. In 2016, 39% of adults aged 18 years and over were overweight. Overall, about 13% of world's adult population were obese in 2016. What are the common health consequences of overweight? One thing we know about cancer. It is a non-communicable disease. Non-communicable disease like cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, and kidney stone, gallbladder, liver, prostate cancers. All these are part of, or it is the result of this kind of obesity and overweight. Again, one more. Even UAE, 40% of students are facing this kind of disease. Thank you.
Okay, it is the responsibility of the sitting with the respective side to put your hand more faster and loud so that he should be able to, she should be automatically going back to his seat. Okay, now you have 30 seconds to frame up your questions, and who is the person to come up and ask the questions? Ashraf Tepi. Quickly. If you have any
I have a
questions.
question actually to you.
Yeah.
Promotion of diets. Does it mean balanced diet also? You should not take balanced diet also?
Very particularly.
No, that is not. Actually, their understanding is wrong. This is what I wanted to point out.
You debate it.
No.
Debate it.
Debate.
Yes. Not a question. Between
Debate.
It's a war of thoughts.
Just frame up your questions, otherwise you will be losing your time. 30 seconds.
The question is.
The question should be asked by Ashraf.
Ashraf.
Yeah.
Okay,